Yo, good evening. How's it going? We're back for stream number 50. 50 streams we've had since the return. And this is stream 50. And then I go on holiday for a couple of weeks, so we're going to be a couple of weeks without a stream. And I did a load of talking yesterday. A butt ton of talking yesterday, so today I'm just gonna render a sketch. It's gonna be just very easy going. I'll answer questions about anything we talked about yesterday, or indeed anything else that comes up. But yeah, I just wanted to do like a relaxed kind of Q&A kind of thing today, and do some comfort zone painting. Just because, yesterday was like solid 2.5 hours of talking and feeling it, honestly. Pretty tired. So, yeah. We'll play some chill music. And yeah, just have a good time. So, got an old painting that slaps for you. It's shocker. Today's old painting that slaps is The Night of the Flowers, or, let me get this right, Le Chevalier aux Fleurs, by Georges Rochegros. I did show this painting at Playgrounds last year during my talk. It was one of the ones that I used. And I have seen this painting IRL. This is in the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. And yeah, I have seen it in person, and it is vibrant. Let me tell you, it is a beautiful painting. It's exquisite. Really beautifully painted as well. It's the lots of visible brush strokes, and yeah, the skin, the subtle hue variations within the skin of all of the characters in this is crazy. But yeah, amazing painting. And yeah, if you're ever in Paris, Musée d'Orsay is a must go to. Yeah, I'd go there over the Louvre, honestly. There's so much stuff there, and it's way less crowded. Yo, Yukino, what's up? You gonna lurk? That's fine. Lurk away. And good afternoon, Sarah. Yeah, the reflection's pretty cool, right? That's like full mirror armor right there. And yeah, this painting, if I remember correctly, it's probably 2 meters wide, maybe larger. So it's really big. So anyway, that's today's old painting that slaps. Yep. Oh, interesting note as well, I guess, because it's quite a saturated painting overall, right? But if we look at the values, he's using the value contrast quite nicely here. Just brings us into all of the faces quite nicely. You know, the hair being darker and so on. So although there's saturation everywhere, the values are being used really well to still draw the eye. Contrast currency, mentioned it yesterday. You got to spend it wisely. And if you have a very saturated painting, then your values become, the stocks in value goes up. If you think about it like that. So anyway, side note. So what are we doing today? We are painting fucking Conquest. Yeah, I started drawing him in my sketchbook at lunchtime. I don't know where that bit is. He says, yeah, terrible. There you go. Started drawing him in my sketchbook at lunchtime. I sort of drew the upper body, right? And then I was like, actually, let's get it on the computer and draw him out, and then I'll use that for stream today. So yeah, here we go. These are the kind of the prelim stages. So there was that. Then this with drawing over the sketch for parts of it, because I kind of liked what I'd got with the face on paper. And then, yeah, from here, just neatened up the line. Well, they're not even neater. It's just more like I swapped brushes, basically. And that's the sort of the drawing for him. As you can see, it's still like not very clean, but as always, what I do is I like clean up the drawing with the flats. So these are the flats, which are made with the pen tool that sit underneath this drawing. And that's really that. And then I did just have like the normal kind of metal fist that he has, but then I was like, oh, I've got this Doomfist painting that I did years ago, and I was like, let's give him Doomfist's fist. So I just cut that out from one of my paintings and then like drew over it really roughly, changed the design a little bit. I gave him kind of like a slightly more Invincible styled gauntlet, but I thought it was quite funny with the knuckle dusters on it. So now he's got Doomfist's fist on here. So yeah, I'm just going to paint this up today. We'll see where we get. Like I said, I go on vacation in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I didn't want to get into something like really long or anything. Just some comfort zone stuff after yesterday, because yesterday was a big ass talk, wasn't it? I've got a bit of a gruff voice from it, even. So yeah. All right. So to kick this off, let's grab sort of dark sunset clouds. I want some like dramatic kind of dark sunset clouds just to whack into the background. Like nothing even crazy, just hell yeah. Alright, nice. I'm just stealing this for the palette, basically. Yo, good evening, Jewel and Avatar Cassia. Welcome. How you guys doing? All right. And let's go noise, dust and scratches. Dust and scratches filter. Very nice for if you're stretching or using a low res photo. It just kind of takes out all of the noise in a kind of painterly way. And I'll kind of start the render in black and white, just to be simpler, and then I will use those same layers and turn them into color later. Is the music too loud, by the way? Do let me know. I made like a coffee earlier with some milk, and I've got like a little fridge here in my studio, but it's like a bit of a milk graveyard, right? And so I used a moldy milk and like took a big sip and was like, oh, so great, fantastic. All right, so we got multiply layers. Like I said, I'm just going to do these in black and white for now, and then we'll use those same layers and turn them into color. So I've got a linear dodge add layer now, and this is where my light's going to go. And then mask it. Bye. Do the same here. Ooh. Bye. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was like touch and go. I like immediately tasted it, so like spat it out, but it was like, it's no bueno. But it happens. I could just like throw the milks away, but I've got like a whole graveyard in there. Okay, so yeah, we are using my kind of process, if you like, here for the render. And more in this process, I like to kind of do all of my edges in this layer. So I really like pay attention to all of the layers. One day the milk's going to walk out of that fridge. You know what? That could actually be a bit of a painting, couldn't it? It's kind of a bit Alex Heath coded. Moldy milk ting. Kuyo, what's up? Yeah. Although drinking moldy milk is not gonna... I've got a bit of an iron stomach when it comes to stuff like that. You can't keep me down. And yeah, we'll put this like into color in a bit, but it's just kind of nice to start this way. As you can see, I'm like trying to pay attention to all of the edges. So I'm trying to suss my edge hierarchy right now. Edge hierarchy being like soft edges, hard edges, on where are they? Because edge quality, edge softness determines form, right? So if you have an edge that's too hard on something that's turning slowly, it's going to read bizarrely. It's going to read like a different form. So you need to make sure that you have an edge hierarchy that makes sense in your piece. So something like here is a softer form. It rolls around softer, right? So it needs a softer edge on it. And then this is a cast shadow edge, so that can be harder. And then this like sternocleidomastoid is really going to be popping out because he's hench, right? He's pissed too, so. Now all the edge shapes look like graffiti shapes. Yeah. Honestly, you're going to see graffiti everywhere. Everything is graffiti, basically. You can abstract anything. It's like the meme with the guy in space looking at the Earth. It's like everything is graffiti. It's like always has been. Hey yo, Nachismo, thank you for the follow. Hello, your work is awesome. Hey, thanks. It's very kind of you to say so. Welcome to the stream. Make yourself at home. What is going on here? let's go. Whoa, can you hear the crowd outside? Cavanilda, thank you for the follow. And we'll play with the value of that in a bit. It's like a bit bright there, but actually, let's just do it now. That's the sound of chat. Yeah. So you'll see me like make a stroke and then undo and like make a stroke and undo and so on. I'm trying to like basically get like one stroke that does what I want it to do. And then I make sure I've got the right edge on that stroke. And if I don't have it, then I just erase it and do it again. But the whole idea behind this is to get like a fresh appearance on the painting, right? But also, if I can get the right edge on it and the right shape that I want, like that's basically it rendered, right? I will paint a little bit on top, but the hardest part of it is done, and that makes this kind of my style kind of quite efficient. Most of the legwork is done in this like very early layer, and then everything else is just painting on top, and that's really easy, you know. The setup is here. And this like part where I'm designing shapes is like one of my favorite kind of parts. And when I say designing shapes, this is kind of like what I was talking about with the graffiti yesterday, where you have the letter form, you know, and the letter form in this case is like the shape of the bicep. And I'm like taking that, playing with the shape and the edge of it, abstracting it into something like a simple design, and then just trying to sort of get a fresh feel to the stroke that goes down. They gather around me. very bad. They gather around me. Come for the art, stay for the singing, you know? It reminds me that I should take the time not to rush the process. Yeah, don't rush the process. Enjoy the process. That's it's literally the best bit. The process is the artwork, you know. What's the music in the background? It is. I'll send you the link. It's Ben Howard's set from Glastonbury 2015. It was. I was there. I saw it live. Yeah, it was great. I seem to remember that we all might have ended up in tears. But it's like his songs don't really sound like this normally. The sort of the Glastonbury set is like very different from how the album sounds. Actually, like not really even a fan of the album, but the set from Glasto was amazing. Did you listen to Ronnie Cheng's Harvard speech recently? No, I didn't. I don't know who that is. The best kind of shows give you an emotional breakdown. Yeah. I mean, I might have had something to do with a whole weekend of substance abuse, but it was an emotional set. Yeah, that too. But it was sick. It was very emotional. Very emotional. Very emotional set. He's a comedian. He said, "Fuck AI." Basically, the process is the point. Enjoy it. Yeah. Well said, I guess. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. Harem Time TM2. Hello. Thanks for the follow. So I'm going to have like another light source. It's kind of like an ambient source from the top, I guess. And that way we can like pick up some of the anatomy on rest of body. So it was sort of like ambient light coming over from the other shoulder. That's what we'll go with after I blocked this one out. He's a bit of a thirst trap, his old Conquest. The boy thick. And we'll sort of dial some of this back with an airbrush to sort of soften it, but I want to get all the strokes in first. Something like that, I'm not sure. Woo! I actually don't like that song, but I think the next one is really good. Surprise, surprise, it's something I don't like. Let's hit save real quick. Save that. Here it is, Conquest. Hench. We're only passing through. Nope. Okay. Come back to that. Me again. Oh, you. Hey, yo, Root Haunt. Thanks for the follow. Fight up on you. My beast. Passing through. Right, we're just knocking these lights down that are further down because quite far from our focal point, so they don't need to quite as like pop off as the ones up top. A little bit of fall off, you know. Like I said, we'll change the color of it later. We'll do this in black and white first. Let's quickly hit save. Okay, so we can change light source. So we're gonna go for like a sort of, you know, we've got the main light source up and behind, right? Sort of off to one side, high up, off and behind, like over here somewhere, right? We're gonna have like an ambient light that's gonna sort of be in front of him or like coming slightly over the shoulder that we'll use to sort of pick up the anatomy on the front of the body a bit. It's going to be a bit more of a subtle and more ambient light source, but it'll look nice. Let me turn the line work off. Actually, we can make this color already. I mean, I don't know why I'm like holding out. Oh, it's quite good in the deep orange, isn't it? Oosh. Okay, well, let's duplicate this layer quickly. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, that's looking quite nice, isn't it? So I just duplicated that same layer and put it on top and slightly shifted the colors. You can see here, one's like a bit more peachy orange, one's orange. And what I can do is like play with the mask on that a little bit later. And then when we turn the mask off, basically, let me show you. When we apply the mask later, see, we got a little extra like color bump there. That was before. This is after. Because the mask doesn't let the linear dodge add layer do its thing. So you have to apply the mask later when you've got the shapes. But I'm going to do a bit more with this light a little bit later. So we'll come back to it before I flatten it down, basically. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, you have to apply it, otherwise it don't do shit. Wait, wrong brush. Yeah. So with linear dodge add, you can either fill the layer with black and then paint into it and it will work like it should. And that way it's kind of like using a mask, but you're not using the mask. You can just use black instead. And that way the effect is always applied. But otherwise, yeah, you have to apply the mask for it to work. Hold it in there. Yeah. It's already double checked. But if you mask it, look, I'll show you. I'm going to turn the layer off. Oh, hang on. Keep it on. Let me flatten these together. Okay. Yeah, Tropic, I know what you're saying, but if you have a mask, it doesn't apply that setting. So here we go. I've got a linear dodge add layer. Transparency shapes is already unchecked. Okay, and it looks like this. If I apply the layer mask, now you see that I get the saturation pop. Okay, if I undo it, redo it, the mask prevents it from working. Okay, light source. Let's go. Let's go. I want this to have a slight kind of bluish hue, not that much. Okay, cool. Boom. Mask it. Hide it. We're back. By myself. Okay. You're going to be like, I'm so lonely. Your friend. And we'll play with the value of this afterwards. I may even like saturate it a bit more, but we'll keep it like obvious so I can see the shapes, and then we'll get rid, because I don't want it as light as this, you know. But and we'll do the face last actually. Is that the face is a tricky one because his head's like pointing down. So there's not many surfaces on his face that pick this up that strongly. The definition that we're going to get is more going to come from the shadows on his face, like the ambient occlusion. So I'm only looking for like these sort of forward slightly up facing surfaces. And I'll just be like real subtle. But yeah, Conquest, such a beast. Good character. Good guy, good character. Yeah, I do always prefer like the bad characters in everything, pretty much. Villains. Good villain carries a show. Yeah, for real. Oh my darling. Who are your top 3 villains? Oh god. Yeah, real tough. Yeah, it's a really tough one. Vader, the Witch King, Ralph Fiennes in Schindler's List. Oh damn. What's the Witch King? Is that in Destiny? Lord of the Rings, true. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, obviously I do like Conquest. I do like Thrag from Invincible. I don't know if I think Conquest would make it into my top 3. Who else is good? Heath Ledger's Joker, pretty good. Pretty good villain. Oh, do you know who's real good actually? Gary Oldman in Leon the Professional as the like dodgy drug cop. Fucking movie that is. You ever seen that film? Leon the Professional. It has like Natalie Portman in it when she's maybe 12 or 13 years old. It has Gary Oldman in it, who's the villain. Really good film, like quite a weird film. But yeah, Gary Oldman's character in it is so good. He's like so unhinged and like unpredictable. Honorable mentions: Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. Yes. Do you know, I watched a video about a theory about Anton Chigurh. If people don't mind spoilers, I'll tell you about this video. But if someone's like, don't spoil it, I want to see the film, then I won't. Yeah, you got it there, Danish Celt. Everyone! So good. Oh, another Gary Oldman. Another Gary Oldman good villain character, Zorg, from The Fifth Element. Yeah, Fifth Element's sick film. The sun comes up, I'm in trouble. Multipass. Yeah. Fifth Element's good. I need to rewatch. I've not seen it in a while. Multipass. I'm trying to think of some other good villains. It's really difficult to try and think and paint. I'm relying on Danish Celt here. Dude, I just went through all my painting and applied the layer mask, and suddenly I have color. Yeah, exactly. You'll be like, what the? You've been cheating yourself all this time. Look at that thigh. Ouch. I've got you. I've seen too many movies. I think Immortal Joe is a really good one too. I don't think I know that. Yeah, I've also seen a ton of movies, but it's the recall is really difficult when I'm streaming. Boyfriend. The new Mad Max movies are 10 out of 10 masterpieces. I've only seen the first like Mad Max remake. I haven't seen the one with Furiosa. Bit behind on the movies. Lennon KNT, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Yeah, Hannibal Lecter. Also, that's in the TV series. Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal. Fucking so good. It's a good show, that. Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a good one. It's a good like second screen while you're working kind of thing. I need to give it another go. Super cool, you Viltrumite. Thanks. Okay, now let me see. Best green grass. Do you know, I think I'll probably paint the hands separately because it's like entirely different material. And it's going to be way more kind of specular, so let us continue with this light. Let's tweak this a little bit. Can always tweak it again. That is also a really good thing about doing this, is that if later on you're like, oh shit, sec. Yeah, later on, if you are like, oh, I want to change the color of this light source, you can. It's easy. And because I paint the edges, you know, like the form I want already. So because the edges have like the right softness or hardness to them already, it already does a hell of a lot for the render. So if I'm going to paint some like ambient occlusion. Oh shit, we didn't do the face. Hang on. Fuck's sake. Getting way ahead of myself. Ignore me. So gotta think about these surfaces a little bit. Alright, I'm going to put some different music on. But yeah, anyway, that's Ben Howard's Glasto set from 2015. And it's pretty ballin'. Living it out. But we'll continue with some more good music. Do you have a step-by-step somewhere? Tropic02. You have come to the right place, my man. Yes. If you click on the YouTube link on Twitch in the About section, right, you will see a playlist. On that playlist is all the past streams. If you look for, I believe, stream 21, 22, 23, I go through my process in excruciating detail, layer by layer, for you to follow along with, so that you can see basically exactly what I'm doing, and I explain it in a lot of detail there. So that's, yeah, streams 21, 22, 23, I believe. Maybe someone could correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I think that's correct. And yeah, that's the one where we like very, very, very thorough. We're doing a sort of like a portrait. Oh, there's Sarah with the clutch save. There we go. I'm a bad streamer. That's the first episode of the portrait set. You're awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Much obliged. Okay, so I put these on here, but not all of these surfaces are going to pick it up. But I will leave the coloring on there subtly. But let's knock it back with the airbrush. Oop, wrong way. Like I said, the shadows are really going to define the face more than the light, because his head is pointing down, right? Whereas like the chest planes are facing somewhat upwards. So there's not many planes on his face that really pick up this ambient light as strongly as the body does. Like I said, it's going to be the kind of ambient occlusion that's going to define the face. Like inside a secret place that everyone can see. Okay, ambient occlusion time. We have a multiply layer. Skirt, skirt. Underneath our lights. We are going to turn the line work back on. Whoa. And we'll do the ambient occlusion like a lot darker than we need it, and then dial it back, basically. Need to take a ton of pictures. Easy to believe. Multiply. Hi Heath, I'm a newbie follower. I'm sorry for a very newbie question. What do you call what do you call on that black and orange layer in the layer section, and what does it do? What do you call? Oh, like this. Like this black square on the layer. Is that what you're talking about? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that is called a mask. Okay. Let's go in a different in a different document. I've made a new layer. Okay, and I make a black mark on it. If I hit this button down at the bottom, that creates what's called a mask. Okay, and at the moment, imagine the mask is an eraser that doesn't actually destroy anything underneath it. It's just hiding it. So at the moment, this mask is white, so everything it shows is here. But if I fill that mask with black, Now it's erased my mark, okay? But if I paint into that mask with white, I can reveal the stroke again. And this way you can use your brush as both a paintbrush and an eraser in a way. Yeah, I mean, you could think of it like masking tape. I tend to think of it as like a sort of a history eraser, where it's like it knows what's on, it knows what you erased and can bring it back anytime. Because with the masking tape analogy, it's like that doesn't really happen with masking tape. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very helpful. Yeah, they're great. It's very good for working non-destructively, which is what I'm doing here, where everything I have painted is reversible. And that way you have a lot of control over the look of everything all the way through the painting. Or at least for this beginning stage of the painting, you have a lot of control. And this is especially useful for client work because, you know, there's going to be feedback a lot of the time that you have to action. That if you just hard painted all of this, and what I mean by hard painted it is like you were just on normal layers doing it. You know, I couldn't change the color of the light if I'd done that, if it was all on one layer. Or if I'd like hard painted it in, so. Artazar, thanks for the follow. Make the light more blue kind of feedback. Yeah, all sorts, dude. All sorts. But even in this case, if they were like, oh, can we change the direction that the blue light's coming from? It's not an issue, really. It's like 20 minutes painting, you know? And I can keep the original one and just duplicate the layer and do it again as well. So if they want to go back, it's just it just sets me up really nicely for adjusting things quickly and responding to feedback. But then once things are like locked in, you know, we're like happy with the colors, the lighting, the direction of all of that, then it's time to like, you know, flatten it down, paint into it. Yeah. Also, like doing the stuff like this. What I've been painting this for an hour and 20 minutes, right? You know, if I could get this to a stage in about 3 or 4 hours, where, you know, if you look at it from a distance, it will basically look how it's going to look finished, just minus details, right? So I can sort of send that to a client as a color rough and be like, hey, what do you think? This is essentially what it's going to look like finished minus details, and then they can feel pretty confident in being like, okay, great, yeah, if it's just gonna be more detailed than this, let's go, and there's no guesswork. And that's great. You can eliminate guesswork, or you can eliminate the possibility of them seeing something differently than you have. If you're like, send them something that's quite sort of messy and up for interpretation, they might interpret certain strokes or areas differently from you. And then when you render them up, after approval, and they'll be like, wait, we thought this bit was like this. And you're like, oh no, it's actually blah, blah, blah. And then, How do you choose a light setup for a piece? Maybe I should look more at ref before starting the piece. Been struggling with that. Yeah, I mean, lighting is something that, at least for me, I conceive of early on. In the drawing stage, I'm thinking about the lighting. And sometimes, depending on what it is, if even at the composition stage, if the lighting's going to be playing like a big role in how things look, then yeah, it needs to be considered early. You get out of the habit of like drawing something and not knowing how it's going to be lit. Because even the pose can be dictated by the lighting. You could draw something out and then you want to light it a certain way and it looks really bad because you've got the wrong angle for it. So you really need to think of that stuff like early on. But I get most of my inspiration for lighting from like cinema, from movies. Yeah, I kind of do that. It's fine. I mean, it is just kind of a stage that you will go through. It's just one of those things that once you like notice an issue like that, where you're like, oh, I'm always doing this. Well, then it's just something to improve on, isn't it? There's always things like that. Always. So I wouldn't worry about it. It's just like the stage you're at. That's something you're doing. You know. You can work to change it. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting too bogged down in the details right there. So let us carry on. My main issue right now is proportion. I always have wonky proportions in my drawing. Requires a lot of iteration and rework. Yeah, I'm the same. At least digitally, it's just like something you can fix quite easy. But when I draw stuff in pencil, yeah, I do notice a lot of the time that there's like just little inconsistencies all over, which kind of add up. So I'm drawing a lot more in pencil now to try and better that. Like this started off as a pencil drawing at lunchtime today. Yeah, for me, I've always kind of fixed that stuff with life drawing, just going and topping that up. But if it's not something you enjoy doing at the moment, don't force yourself. Just follow the interesting thing for yourself. I think as you're learning stuff, that way it's going to be more engaging more of the time. Okay, well we didn't even color the shadow, did we? Let's give that some color, shall we? Yeah. If you don't enjoy it, like, do something in your studies that you do enjoy. Like I say, it's hard enough to like study this stuff, and if you're forcing yourself to do a particular part that you don't really enjoy, you're just gonna make it even harder for yourself to learn. And like, you can come back to that stuff at some point. It will interest you, you know. I've always been like that. You know, there are points where I'm like, that doesn't interest me about the process, so I just don't look at it for a while. But eventually, I'm like, oh, do you know what? I really do want to get into some perspective, or, you know, I want to get really into my anatomy again or something, you know, and that's when I learn the best. So just follow your interest. Don't worry about like thinking you have to do something like that. You don't have to do it right this second. If it is like literally the only thing that's holding you back, then I don't know, maybe. But there's always something to work on. Do you know what I mean? And like right now for me, anatomy is one of those things where I'm really revisiting it, and I'm putting a lot of time into it again because it's interesting to me, you know, once more. But if I like try and force myself to like work on something like that, I find I grow a lot when I force myself to tackle fundamentals. I just try to limit my time with them so I don't burn out. Yeah, exactly. You gotta mix it up. It's you know, fundamentals is a bit of a grind. And you just gotta look after your mental a little bit. Ever do any animation? No, I've never done animation. I've done like animation life drawing before, where the model's like basically moving in slow mo. It was quite fun, but no, I've never done animation. Whole nother rabbit hole. Okay, hang on. I'm just gonna change the music. Dun, 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 dun. I'll put it back on this. .3D is my profession. I've been really into drawing and painting lately, so trying to improve my pipeline kit's been nice. Domicles, this is badass. Thank you. It's goddamn Conquest, I tell you. So this is what I meant by like the shadows are going to define the face. Andre Alvarez Art, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, obviously I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and then when I get back, we will 100% get a critique stream going. One of the first ones when I get back. It's been a long time, but we'll get a critique stream going, and then we're also going to get Daisy on the stream, and we're going to do some funny art challenges together. So that'll be really fun. And yeah, I'll try and line up some other guests as well. You have somewhere fun? Yeah, I'm off to Amsterdam and Portugal. So yeah, lots of drawing in the sketchbook, lots of chilling. It's gonna be nice. Gonna go to like my favorite bookshop in Amsterdam as well. So there we go. That's what I meant by the shadows are going to define the face, like not so much the lighting. So if I turn that off, there we go. Sorry. There's a bookshop in Amsterdam called the American Bookstore, and it's just really good. Like it's quite a nice shop the way it's all laid out inside, but yeah, they've always just got really good stuff. Like I got my sketchbook from there. And I always end up buying like new sci-fi. They've got a good sort of a comics section as well. Yeah, they've just always got really good stuff. Like it's hard not to spend money in there. But yeah, sorry, I left you hanging there. The rendering was calling me. reason. Okie dokie. Sounds like a lovely holiday. Yeah, it will be, mate. And I need some time off, you know. But I've been working loads. I need a bit of a recharge. Okay, let's have a little play around with the coloring of some of these layers. Wrong layer, that's why. Derp. Uh-oh. Alex painted on the wrong layer. So happens if you don't lock it. Okay, let's get a bit of bloom going. Color Dodge, welcome. Color Dodge has entered the chat. And let's save. Even though I was like, yo, I'll just paint something that I don't want to get like super into because I'm going away. And then, you know, maybe we'll do something new when I get back. And then now I'm really liking this. Eyes glowing incoming. No, it's just reflection. It's just reflection. Promise. I promise. For now. For now. Okay. Well, the face is set up nicely for some rendering. For sure. It's getting some saturation up around the head. Boom. Hey, yo. We didn't even put the light on his little butt cape. Sorry, dude. Sorry, my guy. Vadis Rattlekin. Hello. Welcome. Okay. Yo, YouTube, what's up? Sorry, I totally ignored YouTube chat. Dang, light source is pristine. Thanks. We're keeping it. We're keeping it simple. We're keeping it real lush. Hi YouTube. Yeah, sorry. I always forget about YouTube. Sorry. Poor YouTube. Yeah, I know. I know. There's like no room for the YouTube chat in my like meld little production thing, you know. So I just have to sort of overlay it over, and then when I change like window, and then I lose it sometimes, and then I just don't look at it. So sorry, YouTube. I can't say I got no room for it in my life. I've got no room for it in my life. That is the kind of nonsense crap that I would say, to be honest. So my family nickname is Ruben. Ruben. I'm basically known by my family as Rube, not Alex. And yeah, there's like a family joke that, well, it's not a joke, it's true. I have like lots of weird preferences for things, right? You know, we've been through all the things that I dislike. Uh, and it's kind of like that for everything. And I'm not kind of really aware of it, but it's a funny thing for my family to like, you know, take the mick out of. And so this is known as Rube's rules. So if there's something like that, as in like YouTube chat, if I'm like, yeah, I don't have room for that in my life, they'll be like, yeah, okay, that's Rube's rules right there. As in, like, it doesn't make sense. There's no reason for it to be the way it is, but you know, I've decided. It is decreed. Yeah, Rube's rules is just like a way of saying that's bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. Should we just catch a little bit of light on that bit of stray hair there? The fuzz on his face is like catching the light at the edge. Yeah, it's kind of a bit cheesy, but bit cheap. Bit cheap. Is this for fun or commission? No, this is just for funsies. It's for you lot. Okay. Man, the fist is like, that could be a stream in and of itself, painting the fist. We are blessed, indeed. Now, honestly, like coming back to streaming and trying to fit it into my schedule is the best thing that I've done this year. Honestly, it's been great. You know, I've done a lot more personal work. I've really enjoyed like everything I do on stream. It's nice chatting to all of you guys. It's nice sharing knowledge. Is something that, you know, it is something that I've always thought should be free and shareable. Conquest, if you will. Yeah, we'll leave it on there. We'll do what we'll do as well. We'll do it later. We'll do like this, just to really undermine him. We'll be like, just to really undermine Conquest's formidable nature. It'll just. Ding. Bold quest. That's why he's so mad as well. He's so mad. He's just like, he's balding. And he just really doesn't like it. Let's not get into the face right now. Not with half an hour left. Nope, stop it. Do you know what I really want to do though is this, like, that very like thin like undershadow. Oh. Oh. God damn. Oosh. Looking pretty hench, right? He's like, worms. Ching. This song is hella familiar. It's Bonobo. So you probably have heard it. All right, here we go. Here's a conversation topic. What is Conquest theme tune for this picture? What should be playing in the back for this? Is like his entrance track. Can't think of one when the music is playing. Hang on. Okay, let me pause the music. Okay, music's paused. Yo, my computer hates that brush, apparently. Don't know the character, but it's giving me Sephiroth's theme. Okay. You don't know the character. It's you know. He's kind of like if a great white shark was a person, you know. Them bones. Yeah, he's just like incredibly violent. You haven't known most of the characters mentioned today. Damn. Need to watch more movies. This guy's from the Invincible comics, and he's good. Just shows up, causes mayhem. Gets his I don't, maybe I shouldn't say. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But anyway, when he shows up in the comics, it is fucking brutal. It's so brutal. Right, I'm gonna put the music back on. I would put on some like deathcore for him. I'm thinking of like the end of one of the tracks by a band called Disembodied Tyrant. The ending to one of their tracks just sounds like I don't know, Uruk-hai in Mordor. It's really good if you like that kind of music. The Devil Joe theme from Monster Hunter would suit him. Yeah, that is so true. Okay, we'll put Bonobo on. At the end, I'll play the part from a Disembodied Tyrant that I think would suit this very well. The name is insane. Yeah, deathcore band names are all insane. They're kind of like quite funny in a way. A little bit sort of cringe because they're trying to sound like so like, you know. But in a way, that just, at least to me, it comes across as like kind of cringe, to be honest. So it's quite funny. But yeah, Disembodied Tyrant, band, mate, absolute band. They're so good. They make very like orchestral deathcore. So like, it's very epic sounding, but it's very like, well, it's deathcore, but with kind of operatic kind of backing to it. It's insanely good. He's like a shark, you say, a baby shark, yeah. Cute Quest. Yeah, he's cute. I feel like people would be thirsting over him, you know? He's got like hot dad energy, you know? That's what I think. Catch me outside. Terror shark. Well, isn't a shark just the opposite of like baby shark? I was surfing once in New Zealand with my wife's aunt and uncle, and her uncle was out much further than I was on a paddleboard. So he was like standing up, and he's shouting at me from quite a way out, and I can't hear him, but I am looking in his direction, and I'm like, what is he trying to say to me? I thought he was telling me about a wave, like that there was a good set coming, you know? But when I was like, what? And then I eventually did hear him, and he was like, shark! And I was like, what the fuck? And no joke, about 10 feet from me, a shark like breached the water with a fish, like catching a fish, like, and I was like, holy fuck. So I just like got up, sat up on my board, and just like waited until he paddled over, and he was like, yeah, I was shouting shark, and I was like, yeah, okay, I got you. And the next day on the same beach, I'll draw a diagram. Next day on the same beach, I'm in the sea with Daisy, and you know the waves are coming in like this, and we're in the water up to like mid chest height, you know, like this. And we're diving through the waves like as they come, and they're fairly big. They're maybe like 4 or 5 feet high. Okay, as they're coming through. So as we are about to dive into this one, I can see over into the next wave, and there is this big dark shape coming in with the wave. So we dive through this one, And I get up immediately and I grab Daisy, and I'm about to tell her there's a shark, and it swims like around the back of us like this, and we feel the pressure from the water like being displaced, like pushing us, you know? So I'm about to tell her there's a shark, and then we just get that like of water where we're like, oh shit, got pushed, and we just see it like swim off down behind us. And we were like, holy fuck. Big boys. They're not they don't often bite people, these ones. They will do if they're like really hungry, but they mostly just hunt fish in the shallows. But they look like this. They're called bronze whalers. But they are big. They're big ass fish. Big ass shark. Yeah, they're like this. A bronze whaler. And yeah, it was a good 6 or 7 feet. Big shark. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I was in the water for hours after that because I was like, man, I want to see another one. But alas, 2 in 2 days though is not pretty bad. It's not bad. But yeah, they don't often attack. Like a few surfers have been bitten before, but they're not the kind of shark that like would hunt people or anything like that. They're after fish mainly. And like a person is about the same size as one, so it's like, but still scary. Scary enough. But yeah, I love sharks, so I was just like so fascinated by it that I was like in the water, just like, oh come on, we need it to come back. I got to swim with a manta ray once. It was massive. Yeah, that'd be insane. Really insane. How do you swim with those massive balls of yours? Now, honestly, if you panic and start splashing around and try and swim, that's when you're gonna get bitten. You've got to stay chill. And like I said, these ones are not dangerous. Like, it would have to be really desperate and hungry to even attempt it, or you'd have to be, or both, or you'd have to be like splashing around like crazy, churning up water, because that's kind of what they go for, you know. No, New Zealand's lovely. Like pretty much nothing will kill you there wildlife wise. But you go to Australia, pretty much everything want to kill you. All the insects, all the snakes, all the alligators, the crocs, scorpions, everything. They got it all. Poisonous everything. But yeah, if you get the chance, you should visit New Zealand. It's beautiful. And if you do go, make sure you go to Wellington and visit Weta Workshop. It is amazing, especially if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. It's like you got to do it. But even if you're just like a normal person, it's really good. You die. You die well, just in general. You'll just die. Yeah, we're all dying, bro. Of excitement. Oh yeah. It's so good. It's a great day. You can try on loads of the props there as well. They've got like at the end, you can they've got sort of like a photo area, and they've got basically the best dressing up chest ever. They've got loads of props from all the movies that they've worked on, and you can put them all on and take your own pictures and stuff. And they've got this kind of like green screen set up that you can stand in front of as well. It's really good. Like, I knew it was going to be fun when I was there, but it was actually way better than I thought it was going to be. And you get to see into the workshops as well, so you can see like people working on stuff. I got to talk to a lady that like does all the leather work for them. I spoke to her for a bit, and we got to watch her like making stuff. It was real sick. Oh, if I could pick a replica of any prop. I don't know, probably like one of the weapons from District 9 probably. Because they're quite fun and they're like oversized. And I did really like the weapon designs in that film, the alien weapon designs. They're pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, they've got a blacksmith there that makes, all the replicas, and he's sort of training up apprentices to sort of take over for him because he's quite old. So that's kind of cool. Like, you're walking around and you can see the into where they're making the swords, and they've just got the anvil, and they're like ding 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 ding. It's making stuff in there. It's so sick. Really good studio tour. You can also book classes there. Like, they were full up, unfortunately, so that I couldn't do one, but I was going to do a sculpture course, or wanted to do a sculpture course there. It's just like a 1-day thing where you work with the artists and you make a maquette. But you can do like the leather working, all sorts of stuff. But they get booked up real quick, obviously. But I was like, oh, damn, that would have been so cool. Doing like a clay maquette. Such a cool job title too, a blacksmith. Yeah, like real blacksmith as well, not just like no fake ass blacksmith, you know. A waxsmith? Yeah, exactly. Where? I noticed how you have low value contrast in the bottom half of the composition. Do you keep the contrast in your values low to not draw the eye down? I have a hard time with those decisions. Yeah, basically, I'm falling off with everything the further I go down. So the lighting's falling off, the saturation's falling off, the value contrast falling off, etc. And this is like one way that I will, you know, keep attention up near the head for longer. But I also like, just stylistically, I kind of like this idea of like keeping it as simple as possible. You know, there's something endearing about that in the artwork for me, is where it's like, it feels like it needs more in a way, but there's yeah, just like an endearing quality to something, for me at least, where it's like left kind of a bit more unresolved. Like I would be very subtle with any rendering that I do in here from now on. And just leave it like tempting almost. Like I do feel like that stuff is, for my tastes, better left unresolved. You know, I would do very, very little down here now. Okay, so as we are nearing the end, I was going to play you a little bit of what I think is playing behind Conquest right now as he enters. Okay. The end of this track. There you go. Best deathcore band out there. Disembodied Tyrant. Fucking sick. Yeah, I'm going to see them live later this year. He's like, okay, I need a link. But anyway, that's my vision for old Captain Crunch right here. Yeah. I mean, so it's looking like I'm probably going to continue painting this when I get back from vacation, isn't it? It's looking that way. Yeah, it's been fun. We got loads done as well. Like we got this whole render to this point done on stream today, which was great. So yeah, as usual, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Much appreciated. If you want to watch the stream back, if you arrived late, you want to see what's going on, check out the YouTube for the playlist. And yeah, I will see all of you guys in a couple of weeks' time when I get back from vacation. And yeah, hope you're all well and behave without me. And yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side. Take care. Peace out.